Dear student, welcome to our today's lecture in next series of Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. In this video, we are going to see some very interesting point, that is the labeling condition of our drugs and some cosmetics. So what are the labeling conditions? We are already using a labeling for pharmaceutics to practicals, as well as we already prepared some labels for pharmaceutics 1 also. But here are few conditions, here are few things, here are few uh, steps that we have to follow for the labeling of any drug. So for the standard purpose, what are the conditions they have given? So let's see that, and we will also see some demonstration, also see some practical, some cartons, practical, some tablets, as well as some bottles, and that how this labeling is done properly and what are its specification that are given. So let's start with that. First, we will see how the sale of some specific drugs could be done under the Drug and Cosmetic Act, and then we will go for some labeling condition. So first is that sale of Schedule H and Schedule X drug. That is one of the very important. Sale of Schedule X and Schedule X drug. So whenever we are selling such drugs, Schedules H and X drug, there are few conditions. What are these conditions? The drug from Schedule H are not to be sold without a prescription of registered medical practitioner RMP. So for sale of Schedule H drug, it is a must that we should have Schedule H. We should have a prescription of registered medical practitioner. Nowadays, there is one more addition in this, that is Schedule H1. H and H1. That is the one additional amendment is there. So as per that amendment, Schedule H1 is there. Second one is, for the sale of Schedule X drug, it should be dispensed on a duplicate prescription, because these are the narcotic forming drugs. It should be dispensed in duplicate prescription. From that, one copy should be retained by the pharmacist or by the licensee for the period of the 2 years. One copy is retained by the pharmacist for the period of 2 years. Next one, we can supply Schedule X drug to the registered medical practitioner, hospital, some dispensaries, nursing homes against the sign-on order of authorized person, and preserve this document for the period of the 2 years. Next one, this is what about the condition for the sale of Schedule H and Schedule X drug. Now, how will we store the Schedule X drug? Whenever we are storing the Schedule X drug in our retail shop, then how we are going to preserve such type of drugs in our retail shop? The first thing is that the drugs from Schedule X should be stored under lock and key cupboard or drawer. This is the most important thing. Schedule X drug should be stored under lock and key cupboard. This is the first. Second one, in the premises, it should be stored in the premises. There should be a separate arrangement made where only responsible persons have access. So it will not be easy to access to any other person other than the pharmacist, but it should be stored in such an area in our medical shops that this only the reputable or reliable person, authorized person will going to handle it, going to access it. So in this manner, we need to be arranged. So this is what about the storage of Schedule X, H, etc. In this manner, we can arrange it. This is what about the storage. The sale of the Schedule H and X we have seen, as well as the storage of Schedule Extra we had seen. This is what. Then now the next point is that what are the labeling condition? First, we will see some common labeling condition of drug, and already you know it very well. Just I will go through it, and the specific labeling condition, then I will give some important time for it, so you will get an idea what is the specific labeling condition. So there are a few common things that just I will go through it, and we will see it later as detail. Identify the drug, its manufacturing through its official name, trade name, if any, name, address, license number, batch number. Second, potency and standard, that is we are going to be mentioned. If you see this, so here it is quite mentioned. Just a moment. I'm trying to show you. Net content, volume, weight, number, manufacturer and expired dates, then the precaution and handling, storage, as well as special requirement for specific drugs like some physician sample or veterinary drugs, drugs containing a specific material like spirit. So if you see here in this part, it is get mentioned here as a physician sample not to be sold for that. Yeah. So, if I trying to zoom it out, so you will get it. Just I'm trying to zoom it out. So I will show you in detail about in latter physician sample not to be sold, as well as next one is that special provision for dispensing of drug or to be export. If it is the drugs are to be get export, then the special provision and the label of innermost container having some following categories of the drugs other than covering in which container is packed, a seal bear a conspicuously red mark. This is a specific condition that I will try to explain you. What is this? The label of innermost container with the following condition that we need to follow some things. Yes. So if you see some labeling condition mentioned over there specifically for some scheduled rates. So there are a few conditions that are mentioned here. If you see this, then you will get realize that specifically for the this is a schedule H drug. This is a schedule H drug. But this schedule H drug is having this what? This conspicuously red vertical line on the left side throughout the body of the label. Throughout the body of the label, not less than 1 mm in width, without disturbing the other printing condition of the label. This is the what that we have meant. What that is a conspicuously red mark is there. So what it indicates the conspicuously present of this red line is nothing but it is in a condition of scheduled drug. If you see this is a tablet that is having a conspicuously red mark. So along with this, I have one more example for that. See if you see this is a one capsule. So in this for this capsule here again this conspicuously red mark is here. Again here conspicuously red mark here. So this is again scheduled drug. If you see here in this it is get mentioned that schedule C drug, that's a scheduled drug here also mentioned. One more thing that this is also one. Again this is what a conspicuously red mark is here. Conspicuously red mark here. What did indicate? This indicate it is scheduled drug. Again it's a scheduled drug. If you see here this, it's a scheduled drug. So the scheduled drug should be specifically having this conspicuously red mark. As well as if you see here, one point is mentioned as a physician sample not to be sold. That in earlier slide we had seen that is a specific information, that is a physician sample not to be sold. So these are this is what about some tablets as well as some bottle. There are few other tablets are there where if you see there is no specific red line is there. So they are not a scheduled drug. They are not scheduled. In this label there is no any mentioning of the schedule H drug. They have not mentioned here. But here a red line is here. But here in this case there is no red line. It is no red line. So if you see this particular label, then you will get identify this here. Schedule H drug is there. Here mentioned is here. But in this case, there is no any mentioning of scheduled H drug. That is a difference between scheduled drug and non-scheduled drug. So this is called as a scheduled drug, as well as along with there are some bottles. This is the one bottle that it bottle is having. This is bottle is having conspicuously red mark. That is a conspicuously red mark. Then definitely here some cautions are there. They have mentioned here some cautions, right? So some cautions are here again. That is a caution and warning. Both the things are there because it's a schedule H drug. It's a schedule H drug. And this is one more bottle, but where in this bottle there is no any specifically conspicuously red mark on the left corner. There is no any specifically conspicuously red mark on the left corner. So it indicates it is not a scheduled drug. It is not the scheduled drug. So this scheduled drug is get mentioned here. This is a specific scheduled drug mentioned here. So this is about the labeling specific this labeling condition. This is a specific labeling condition. So along with this specific condition, that is a vertical red line is available. With this vertical red line, it gives some important information. What is that important information? That information about itself specifically some class of the drug. So which class of drug such type of line are observed, mentioned? So these are narcotic, analgesic, hypnotic, sedatives, tranquilizer, corticosteroids, some hormones, some hypoglycemic agents, some antimicrobial agents, some antiepileptic drugs, antidepressant, anticoagulant, anti-cancer drugs, and all the drugs which are covered under Schedule G, Schedule H, Schedule H1, and Schedule X. All these class of the drugs are having conspicuously red vertical line on the left top corner with not less than 1 mm in a diameter. This is the most important thing. That is a labeling condition. So along with this labeling condition, specifically for the scheduled A drugs, again some specific labeling conditions are there. So what are these specific labeling conditions? The specific labeling conditions are like for Schedule X drug, there should be a word mentioned warning. What is that warning? To be sold on a prescription of registered medical practitioner only. And on the left corner, there is an XRX. If you see on the corner here is the molecule name, and if you see at the top of the corner, there is a word RX. The mentioning word is an RX. RX is mentioned. But particularly for if it is in a scheduled drug, means for the schedule X drug, then the mark is there, red symbol mark is there, XRX. Next one, if the drug is from schedule X drug, schedule G drug, then there should be a word caution. And what the caution is, it is dangerous to take the prescription except under medical supervision. That is a caution that is get mentioned under schedule G drug. If the drugs are from the schedule G, then such type of conditions are get mentioned. If the schedule H drug, if the drug is from the schedule X, then for the schedule H there is a warning. If you see here, schedule H, again you can find it any drugs or in your home. You just try to find out this type of any carton or any strip on that, where if it is a scheduled drug, conspicuously red line is there, then definitely the conditions are there. You try to find it or try to just observe it. So if the schedule H drug is there, then there is a mentioning on what part as a warning. What is that? To be sold on a prescription of registered medical practitioner only. That is a specific condition get mentioned over there. Symbol, RX symbol is prominently on left top corner. There is on left top corner near to this red line. Again, the word RX, the symbol is there, which gives an idea that is that this drug is of a schedule H drug. Then if the drug is from schedule H drug, and second thing, if the drug is a narcotic drug, then the word NRX should prominently mention on left corner. So instead of here RX, you will get NRX. If it is a narcotic drug and if it is under schedule H drug, then it is a NRX should be conspicuously marked because it is a narcotic or psychotropic substances. So this is what about the labeling condition. That important things that we have mentioned here in this point. Now, second last point of this chapter, that is the Drug and Cosmetic Act for the particular drug, that is a repacking licenses. So what do you mean by the repacking licenses? How these repacking licenses are formulated, particular to whom these repacking licenses are there, that we will see. Again, some few conditions are very common. It is in the process of breaking of any drug from bulk container into the small packages and the labeling of each such packages with a view to sale and distribute. You might have seen a beautiful example under this repacking license is a boric acid. If you purchase this boric acid in bulk, like in 10 kg, 50 kg or 100 kg, and if you buy forget it, divide it in 200 milligram, 20 milligram, 50 milligram. So during vacations, you might very well using for the playing in carom board, you need a boric acid powder. So this boric acid powder we are using instead of taking in high quantity, it maybe we are using for the 20 milligram or 20 gram or for 50 grams, or farmers are using for the this disinfections or bacteriostatic action. They are mixing the food grains, mixing the grains with this boric acid powder for just an bacteriostatic action. So that is again bifurcated. So you will get for the in a package of 5 milligram, 5 grams, 10 grams, 20 grams, 50 grams, likewise. So this is what that is a repacking. So what category, what type of category of drugs such repacking could be done? It is not included the compounding, dispensing or packaging of any drugs in ordinary course of the retail business, that we are not compounding. We are just purchasing the original drug, purchasing in bulk quantity and subdividing it. Granted for this purpose of the breaking of any drugs in a bulk container into small packages and labeling of each packages with a view to sale. That is again a condition. Specifically, this licensee is not required or not given, not issued for the sale of Schedule C and C1 and X drugs. For the Schedule C and C1 and for the X drugs. And the applicant has to apply for the licensing for repacking, and then licensing condition will get followed in prescribed manner. They will check and then they will issue the licensee for that. So once the licensee is get issued for you, then you can continue for the repacking. For granting a license, we should made application in form number 24B, and getting a license we could apply in form number 25B. For getting a license, 24B, and for issuing the license form number 25B. There is a little bit difference between getting a license and issuing a license. Next one is the person licensed to the repacking of the drug should observe the adequate space as well as the equipment for the repacking of the materials, as well as there should be a proper hygienic condition to be mentioned, and should be controlled activities under the authority person, competent person. The drugs packed should, in addition to other than particulars, bear some batch numbers, licenses preceded by the words RPGLIC number on their label. In other regular products, there is only manufactured by or manufacturing license number is there. But this is the repacking. That's why there is only word repack. License number should be RPG. License number should be there. So this is what about the repacking of the drug. And the next point is then that we call as a loan license. Now, what do you mean by the loan license? To whom these loan licenses are get issued? Loan license, it may be an issue to a person who does not have his own arrangement, who does not have its own arrangement for manufacturing. His own he don't have any his own arrangement, but who intends to avail himself for manufacturing facilities owned by another license. Like suppose Cipla is in a company, he's having a big company, and one company is XYZ company is there at local level. He is interested to work for the manufacturing, but he don't have his own facilities. So what he will do, he will approach to the Cipla and he will give the what the facilities he have, and if some additional facilities given by the Cipla, then they can prepare the medicine for the manufacture the medicine for the Cipla. And if such conditions are get fulfilled, then under the loan license, he will get a license. He will get license. He can manufacture it. The loan licenses are issued for the manufacturing or the sale of a drug or distribution of drug other than specified in Schedule C and C1 or X. This is a specific condition. Other than Schedule C and C1 and X drug can be manufactured under loan license. The applicant for granting a renewal of such licenses shall be applied in form number 24A, and such licenses shall be issued in form number 25A. For repacking, it's 24B and 25B. For the loan license, it is a 24A and 25A. That is a condition that we have to remember. Next one, application for granting or renewal of loan license to manufacturer for the sale for drug only for the specified drugs. That is next point is application for grant or renewal of loan license to manufacturer for the sale and distribution of drugs which are specified in Schedule C and C1 shall be made in form number 27A, and he will issue the license in form number 28A, and renewal certificate is issued in form number 26A. These form numbers are very important that we need to remember it. Form number 24, form number 25A, B, or form number 27A, 28A, or 26A. These form numbers that we need to be remembered. So this is what about the loan license. This is what about the loan license that we have to remember. So this is our today's lecture related to that. What we had seen in this lecture, that license conditions, license numbers we had seen, what are the license conditions that we have seen, what are the labeling conditions of the drug, as well as what are the repacking license and loan license, what are the conditions for the license. Thanks for listening. Thank you very much.